Welcome, class, to Lesson 8-5. Today, strong mathematicians can find unknown angle measures. You can grab your notebook, a pencil, write down today's date, the name of the lesson, and let's get started. As we have our box 1 notes to review, obviously, if you have angles, you have vertex rays, we have degrees. Just trying to re-highlight those keywords so we hear them over and over again. A right angle, very important, is that we know a right angle is 90 degrees. That's going to come in handy for today's lesson. The same thing as a straight angle is 180 degrees. That'll help us with today's lesson as well. We know acute angles are less between 0 and 90. We know obtuse are between 90 and 180. And we know that now here's something new to add to your notes for today, is that two angles can be put together to form another angle. The measure of the whole angle is the sum of the measures of the smaller angles. The measure of the whole angle shown is 105 degrees. So notice you have this one right here. This one right here is your 45 degree angle. This would be this one right here. And this one right here is your 60 degree angle, even though it's spun around. So we spun it around to be this one. So notice they share one of the lines. They put one of the lines together. So really this line right here and this line right here are together, which makes it look kind of like that, which gives us this shape right over here. So you can line up two angles and a vertex, so line like two rays in a sense, and put them over each other to make a bigger angle. So you can pause the video right now, write down this information to help you out, and we will get into our examples for today. So it says, what is the name of the new angle? So you'll be able to identify it. And then what kind of angle is formed when the two angles are put together? What is the measure? So if you look at right now, we have this angle ABD, and we have CBD. And if we put those two together, the name of the new angle would then be ABC. So we'd have angle ABC. That answers our first question. What kind of angle is formed when the two angles are put together? This would be a right angle. And how do we know it's a right angle? Because when you add up 45 plus 45, you get 90 degrees. And then, let's see, what is the measure? Well, I just answered that question, I guess. So we got 45 plus 45 equals 90, so it would be 90, and then our label would be degrees. So notice two 45-degree angles put together makes a 90-degree angle, and notice 45 is half of a 90. So kind of a good way to kind of keep those in your mind. The next one we have, looks like we have our two angles are J, K, and M, and L, K, and M. Those are two angles. So we have our new angle of J, K, and L. So angle J, K, L. And we know that if it's an angle that looks just like that, it would be a straight angle. And how did we get that? We took 90 degrees plus our other angle of 90 degrees to give us 180 degrees, which is the length of our new straight angle. So you can pause the video down, write these examples and the notes that go with them. That way they can help you answer your questions about putting angles together. On our next screen, kind of a fun little thing to go right here. It says use the angle shown to make other angles. So now we're going to have a variety of angles right here. I also have this, which I don't know. Actually, I know where it's from. I'm going to get rid of that for us so it doesn't distract us. This is one of those part of the tools for the compass, or the protractor. But now we don't need a protractor because they have them already labeled for us. So which two angles could you put together to make 75-degree angle? Well, we got to figure out what two angles add up to 75. So if I look, I know 75, so it has to end with a 5, and I know 95 is too big, so I'm going to need the 35. So I'm going to take angle ABC plus, and then the other angle I would need to add to make 75, well, that's 75 minus 35 would leave us with 40. So I need the one that's 40, and angle FED. Those would be the two angles that I would get to solve and make a 75-degree angle if I would put them together. Which two angles would you put together to make a straight angle? Well, remember a straight angle is 180 degrees. So if I start to do some combinations, I know the 5, well, it ends in a 5. The only thing to make it to a 0 would be this 5. And that would only be 130, so that's not enough. So I'm going to take my biggest angle, because I know I got to get up to 180. So if I have angle QPN Important that the P is the vertex. That could be NPQ, would also be fine. Plus, that gives me 140. I need 180. That means I need 40 more. I'm going right back. It must be my favorite one today. And angle, I'm going to go this way, DEF. That same thing as long as my vertex is in the middle. So those two would give me 180 degrees. So you can draw down those examples, see how we added those angles together to come up with different angles. And some other questions for us to answer. It looks like the measure of angle QPN is 125 degrees. What is the measure of QNM? Alrighty. So we're kind of looking at this one. So we know QNP. So I go from here to here, QNP. This angle is 125 degrees. I like to draw these out and measure and put down what do I know. Well, I know part of this angle that is right here is 40 degrees, so this part's already accounted for with the 40. So to get the rest of it, I would take 125 degrees minus the 40 degrees I already have, and this gives me an answer of 85 degrees. So what is the measure of angle QNM? Would be 85 degrees is the angle of QNM. So I took what I had, the whole part, the whole big angle. I took a part of the angle that I already knew, and I was able to solve that missing piece. So the measure of ABC is 180 degrees. So here's A, there's B, and there's C is 180. It's a straight angle, which is good. What is the measure of angle DBC? Well, I know that this part, so the big part's 180. I know this part's already 138, so I just got to figure out what's left. Well, if I have 180 degrees, and I know that 138 of it's with angle ABD, that leaves me with a 2, make this into a 7. 7, 3 is 4, so it would be 42 degrees. So to answer my question, angle DBC is 42 degrees. And there you go. So you can write down those examples, draw them out, label them, especially with the angle measurements, since we're not using protractors to draw these. And you can use those to answer those questions. And now it is your turn. So draw a big line on your piece of paper, label it box 3, now your turn. And I like to draw out those things, so draw those shapes and answer, or draw those angles, and answer the questions that go with them, as in what's the name of it, what kind of angle is formed, we put them together, and what's the measurement. And you have your own questions to answer with some of these different things right now. It says, which one of these angles could you put together to make an 85-degree angle? And which two angles could you put together to make a right angle? Good luck. And as we have this thing right now, trying to find the unknown angle. So what you have is you got some information of what you do know, and you're going to be able to solve information that you're trying to solve. So you're trying to find that missing angle. So you can draw these shapes, write out the information, and see if you can calculate the missing angle. And nope, you don't need a protractor because you have 2 of the 3 parts that you need to answer the question. So good luck. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to write those down or share those out. Also, if there's any strategy that you use to help you, make sure you share those out as well. And thanks again for another great lesson.